underground music is trash, and that's okay. Now, I want to go ahead and make this disclaimer before all y'all underground fans get on me and start trying to jump me like it's Thanos on Avengers Endgame. I know there's probably Che fans looking at this. I know there's 1300 Saint fans, Prada Bag, Glock, all y'all. Before y'all even try to do that, y'all should know, if you watch my channel, I love underground music, okay? Now, ever since I posted my drill music video about why I said how and why drill music was falling off, I had a few people in my personal life look at me sideways and be like, well, you're talking about the quality of drill music in terms of it stagnating and having no growth and it not being quality anymore. But that underground music you listen to is trash. Now, first off, I said trash. You talking about me? My music taste being trash? I was like, bro, there's no way like we're listening to the same thing. Like clearly they got a bunch of earwax stuck in their ears, or they must be partially deaf, because there's no way you're hearing Glock 40 or you're hearing Prada Bag and you're like, yeah, this music is some trash. So then I sat back and thought to myself, what about the time when I first started listening to underground music and I really could not get behind it? So I had to put myself in their perspective, and I asked them a few questions about why they thought underground music is trash. Now I was able to come to the conclusion, okay, underground music is trash traditionally. However, artistically and for the future, it is not trash at all. But even if it is trash, it's okay. And let's be honest, they don't have trained ears yet. So we're going to discuss this, and we're going to talk about underground artists who I feel like I had to get behind that. Originally, when I first listened to them, I was like, yeah, I don't understand what none of y'all listen to. This is garbage. We're going to be talking about why underground music is different, and we're going to talk about why it being that trash, you know, sound is what's the beauty of the underground and what's going to keep artists who are coming from the underground space. They will be the ones who are going to continue to grow, unlike the other rappers. One of the main points that they were giving me about underground music was saying that it is very low quality and it has little to no structure to it. Now, low quality, I can kind of give it to you. Like, take Glock 40 Spaz, for instance. I know I'd be using Glock in this example, but that man was really rapping on the snowball. Now, I don't know if y'all ever heard this song from Glock 40 Spaz called We Never Win, when that man was spazzing on the beat. I'm not gonna lie, he was spitting for real, but you literally hear the smoke detector in the background going off. Like, bro, I don't think y'all realize, like, that is technically low quality. Fitment, I can get that, but that doesn't mean that the music is low quality at all, because there's no way you're gonna tell me that, especially production-wise, that it's low quality, because the producers in the underground are practically some of the best producers. You got people like Benny X, We Gonna Be Okay. I don't know off the top of my head Non-Vicious's producer, but he be going crazy with them samples. So there's no way that you can tell me that that music is really low quality for real. I don't think it's low quality at all, bro. When I was talking with my manager, you know, and in the most polite way, if you watch this, you know, she doesn't originate from our generation or my generation. She came a few generations prior, you know, not trying to call you the O word, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, she was telling me, where's the structure? I mean, where's the chorus? I mean, I'm like, bro, we not trying to hear all that. Like, she's like, where's the chorus? Where's the structure of the song? I'm like, bro. Now, I will be honest. A lot of these underground artists do not have any type of structure with their music. I remember that one time I saw that video of that man Dar and Xavier Sobase on stage, and I don't know what they were saying. Here it goes, bro.
Is this nigga serious?
And then even you could then take it to someone like Baby Mel, in which I'm not gonna lie, some of y'all do be forcing yourself to listen to some of this music. I don't understand it, but you know, some of y'all like it and it goes against the grain, but I can't even like this either. But I think that's what's actually the beauty of underground music. It's fun and it doesn't have to be a necessary structure, and I'm gonna get to that. I think that's fine though when it comes to underground music, because it is underground. It's not mainstream. It doesn't have to be necessarily something that's all structured and follow the status quo of music. And I feel like the main saving grace of underground music is that it's original. You always are finding something new. You may first find someone like Until Japan. You're gonna find someone who's like Che. You're gonna find someone that's always finding a different way to kind of spice up the music, because we all know mainstream has been taken over by drill. And we all know that drill music has completely stagnated. I spoke about it in my last think piece. If you want to go watch it, it's my most successful video on this channel. Banger of a vid, go watch it. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is that there are so many different ways in which as an underground artist you can kind of influence your own sound and sound different. And that's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear the same thing over and over again. I remember for the first time when I heard Lazer Dim. I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not understand the hype. I heard about that one song, Out of Bounds, when that man upped his gun, and it was hilarious, right? I saw that from a meme on TikTok, and I saw him pumping up his air mattress, right?
I got no bed, I got an L bed. Hit at this top trying to leave his hair red. Why you bleed up? Why the fuck is you scared? I don't got no bed, I got an L bed. Hit at this top trying to leave his hair red. I gotta pump my bed up, matter of fact.
And I was like, bruh, the fact that he's doing this, that already draws in the image of liking him as an artist because it comes off as organic. It doesn't, he's not coming off as some, oh, I gotta be tough all the time, or oh, I gotta keep the greatest image in terms of I gotta be, you know, ore farming on all these other, you know, people like my fans and everything. Like sometimes we need to see, like, it's refreshing to see stuff like that. So when I heard him rapping, I'm like, bro, this is different. After like the 5th listen, I'm over here bopping my head. I'm like, hold on, he not bad at all. Like if someone puts Evil Curse by Lazer Dim on in my car, we slotting. Like it's definitely like, we definitely bopping our heads to it. Like that's definitely a great song to hear. And I think when it comes to originality, this isn't something that we have always seen in, you know, in just music. But even take art, for example, like Pablo Picasso. Now, I know if there's any art heads in here, don't get mad at my opinion when I say this. Pablo Picasso, I feel like, has a lot of overrated art. And now when I say this, there are many things I looked at Picasso has made, and I look at it and I'm like, bruh, this doesn't look that good. I honestly seen better. And I think of it like, bruh, like, why is this dude being praised so much? But what was the main thing that Pablo Picasso did? Pablo Picasso's art was abstract and unique and new. So then when I want to listen to Yeat, who low-key is like, not, this gonna sound like Glaze or whatever, but when you listen to a dude like Yeat, he's low-key like a underground Picasso.
It's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
He changed the game up crazy. Even Drake and all these other people had to recruit him for their albums, and they had to try and experiment with this kind of style. Many people are experimenting with it. Now, what if I say this now? If the mainstream artists that peep the vision are enjoying it, and then when I peep the vision, why are people calling me insane for? Why are they saying that we got trash music taste? Clearly the mainstream people that are recruiting them so they can get some album sales are the ones that also think it's good too. See, that's why I said, you know, underground fans, bro, you know, we all got trained ears here, man. But that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, like, it may be traditionally trash, but that doesn't mean it's bad overall. When I think of underground artists that are very original that I grew up on, I think of the Doo-Wop Canes. I think of the Summrs. I think of bands. I think of even when Cardi was coming up on the SoundCloud era, Uzi, all of them, the underground legends, Ken, all of them. When you first listen to their music, you may not get it the very first time. But what it tends to get you hooked on the music is how different it is and how original it is. There are many times I've listened to Doo-Wop Kane where Doo-Wop Kane will drop a 20-song album. I may listen to half the album, think it's bad, 5 of it is mid, but then them 5 bangers be bangers. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. That's how the underground is. It's hit or miss, but I'd rather listen to hit or miss music sometimes rather than an album of mid drill especially. And that's why drill artists tend to never sell much, because the art as a whole, listening top to bottom, when you're listening to it, it sounds like the same thing over and over again. But underground though is different. Take a Great Chaos. Even though Ken at this point was not underground, or even if you could take his other project, Teen X, and you know, his discography, his albums never sounded the same on every single song, and they had a clear evolution across time. That is why the underground sounds so good. To me at least, it sounds so good. Even though to everyone else it sounds like gibberish in a foreign language, it's music that sounds great to me. What's funny about the underground fans is that there's little herd mentality in the sense of when someone calls the music trash, people are willing to support the artist more. You don't really see that with many other things. Like, this ain't no Crocs type of thing. Like, if someone says something looks good, then everyone just flocks to it. Or if someone says everything is bad, like Arby's, for example, you know, people are just gonna go stay away from it. Even though Arby's really isn't that bad. If someone handed me some Arby's right now, I'd eat it. And I know some of y'all probably think it's crazy, but bro, you probably never even eaten no Arby's. Back to what I'm saying with the underground. If you tell a certain fan base that their artist is trash, they're just going to support more. Nettspend literally trended solely because people were calling him trash. And guess what ended up happening? People kept listening to the music over time. And I remember I would scroll through TikTok comments and people were like, bro, this really ain't that bad for real. Like, y'all not hearing them. And that's funny because I'm not gonna lie, there's been certain times when I've listened to certain artists and I've been like, hold on, this ain't that bad. The first time I ever listened to Rocket, I did not get it at all. I didn't get it. Then I listened to his album that my homie sent after I did a reaction video with him, which y'all need to go check out. I remember I texted him right afterwards. I'm like, bro, this dude's music actually hard. Like, it's actually hard. Sometimes it takes a few listens. It's like that whole lot of red effect. It takes you a few listens sometimes to get it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not gonna act like as of recent, there haven't been a few artists that I've listened to that have gotten me feeling this way. Che, I know I mentioned Che earlier, so all the Che fans, listen to me. When I listen to Rest in Bass, I couldn't listen to it. I'm not gonna lie right now to me right now, that album's a smooth, to me, Rest in Bass right now is a smooth 3 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie, 3 out of 10 is low-key a bit generous, but it's a bad album to me. It doesn't sound very good. I know people are saying it was the Underground's Whole Lotta Red. Some people even calling it, you know, better than Whole Lotta Red, which at that point, bro, I'm just gonna assume that you smoking, because there's no way. Like, I don't know what you're on. There's no way you think it's better than Whole Lotta Red. All I'm saying is, even though I listened to Che's album and I didn't like it, there was one thing I did say about the album that I could at least appreciate. It tested the boundaries. I can at least say that it tested the boundaries. It wasn't anything like I felt like I went and heard that from someone else besides Cardi. Obviously, it was a Whole Lotta Red inspired, but it wasn't a scenario where I was just sitting back like, oh my God, like this is the same underground music. This is the same music I've always heard. It's repetitive. No, there's always evolution in it. Going against the grain and being original is what really is helping these artists out. You don't have to follow the set structure of music for the music to be necessarily deemed good. I feel like sometimes following the set structure of music is what kills the music. You have to test the limits. Why do you think Drake tries to turn into Majin Buu and he goes everywhere and tries everywhere in parts of the world? He soaks up he soaks up the talent that other people have. If it's in the UK, if it's in New York, if it's wherever, he always tries to find a way to, you know, get into his rapper bag. There's a reason why he does that, bro. He turns into Majin Buu and absorbs the talent. That's just the way it is. He keeps the evolution. Now, one of the main things I also like about underground music is that, unlike mainstream rap, which is mostly drill now, you can listen to it in many different settings and you can switch up the kind of underground you want to hear and it can flow well with each other. Now, the one problem with drill music that I have is that you can only listen to it, in my opinion, in 2 settings. At the gym, or maybe if it's like a dark day or you're out at night, I guess you can listen to it. Like if you pull it to like a club or something, you could listen to it. But like, bro, if you driving outside at your big age, especially if you 30 plus years old, the birds are chirping outside and you blasting music about popping your op, or you blasting music about someone getting smoked, I'm gonna kind of look at you a little sideways. I'm gonna be like, bro, like, I remember I hop in the car sometimes and, you know, someone just playing drill music and I'm just like, bro, like, what's the point of this right now? We really finna be listening to this right now? Like, but underground, on the other hand, I can switch from Safety Interlude by Destroy Lonely. Y'all should go listen to it if y'all never heard it. Y'all should have already heard it. You know Ball if you already know about it. Yeah, I could switch from a Safety Interlude kind of song to then I could switch to Out of Bounds by Benji Blue Bills. And then I could take that and then I can listen to So For Nothing by Non Vicious. And then I could take that and then listen to Bad Relations by Glock 40 Spaz. And then I could go and take that and listen to Reno Hercules or Crank by Yeet. I could listen to, there's so many different modes you can listen to. And there's the rage, there's, you know, there's that, you know, melodic sound as well. Like you could take from a Doo-Wop Kane and you heard his music like The Feeling. And then you could even listen to Memory Lane by Doo-Wop. There's so many other things where you listen to the music and you're just able to be in a different mode, and that's what I like about it. And I'm keeping it strictly rap music because I don't want no one to be like, bro, you don't listen to other art genres, or what about this and that? I'll be like, bro, we're keeping this rap music here, all right? Because I love my rock and roll, whatever, but I'm not gonna compare the underground necessarily to that. I'm just, since this is mostly about rap. Now, one thing I will say though is, like I said, there are certain underground artists I can't get behind at the moment. Young Fazo has still not won me over. I don't like the music, but I still respect him for at least putting the music out, man. It takes guts to do that. You know, Fazo, Baby Male. I've heard Baby Male. You know, Baby Male maybe somewhat aligned to Drew. I haven't listened to all his music, but I've heard that he's like an up and coming artist, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really rock with his music. They put it in the mood. Like, I can't really get with it. The one thing I can appreciate about Baby Male is that it's different though. I can appreciate it. Maybe it'll grow on me. But you know, there's been many artists that I've listened to, that I remember when Cash Dami was out. I did not like Cash Dami's music at all. I do not. But like, the one thing I could say is, you know, I mean, there's a lot more out there. That's the beauty of the underground. And the thing about the underground is you ain't gotta like all of it. Like, I'm not gonna force myself to like all underground music, but you know, underground music is technically traditionally trash, but I think that's fine, and that's what we like about it. So I think this is a good way to explain to any old heads that you are around, or your mom, your dad, anyone that's been listening to, you know, the music you listen to, and you're like, bro, like, what is he listening to? This music is garbage. The main things we like in music in the underground is originality and evolution. And that's just not something we're seeing in modern rap right now in the mainstream, and the testing of boundaries. When you have that right there, that creates the recipe of music that we like. You know, we don't want to just hear music that is going to sound the same. So long story short, you know, I think the real answer to this problem, or the real thing is, they don't know ball yet. They will in time, and when they do, we don't even gotta be, we ain't gotta say nothing. We just sit back and just be like, look, man, we was here day one. We was already here. We was already listening to the music. We don't gotta rub it in their faces for real, because I'm not gonna gatekeep my favorite artist. I'm not gonna prevent the artists that I support from, you know, putting food on the table. So if you gatekeeping music, you need to stop gatekeeping music, bro. Send it to your homies. Make sure they give them this underground wave, and we'll see how that turns out for them when they become a fan. Now that right there is gonna wrap up the video. My name's Rasul, if y'all new. I know, to all my subscribers, I'm sitting down for this video. Every time I do a think piece, I'm normally standing up. You know, we got a new mic right here. Shoot, if these artists start getting bad, maybe I'll start having to punch in, bro. Like, I'm just messing with y'all. I'm not punching in on that mic. I'm actually gonna be streaming soon. Got a new mic. I'm gonna have my Twitch down below. Subscribe to the channel, bro. Subscribe. We do think pieces on music. But the best thing about this channel is honestly the vlogs. I do cinematography, you know, cinematic vlogs on fashion, working out, and many different things. And I'm not gonna lie, if you made it to this point in the video, why not subscribe, bro? Why not subscribe? I'll see y'all in the next video. You know, cue the outro music. If you ain't know, it's Talk by Playboy Cardi. And I see y'all. Peace.